Hello and welcome to Audio Tips from a Pro. I'm Neil Kesterson and I've been a professional audio engineer for 40 years and I've learned a thing or two. I'd like to pass on some of my knowledge to you so that your soundtracks can shine. Let's talk about how to start a recording session. Now this may seem like a trick question, but let me ask you this. How do you build a house? You don't just start out with a pile of lumber and make it up as you go along, or else the house might collapse. It starts with a well thought out blueprint before the foundation is even poured. Number one, do the paperwork first. If this is a for-pay gig, then get all of your clients' info, agree to terms on how they will pay, get a down payment, and give your project a job number if you use them. I do. I code every project so that I can easily find it later. And here's a tip. Use lots of keywords in your logs and project file names. That way you'll be able to find them easily. Number two, count your chickens. Figure out how many tracks you'll probably record, what mics you'll use, and how many people will be involved. If this is a large-scale recording, I chart out every input, output, cable connector, and microphone. There's nothing worse than not having enough mics or cables because you didn't plan. Keep in mind that things will probably change a little, but at least you have a roadmap to begin with. Number three, know your delivery specs. This is sometimes the most detailed part of setting up a session. Establish who, where, and how people will listen. This will help determine your sample and bit rate. It's best to start and end with the same sample and bit rate all the way through the project. There will usually be different specs for various delivery points, like streaming, CD, Blu-ray, and so forth. So address those individually after the mix. Most films and videos are mastered at 48 kHz 24-bit, and we rarely go outside of this except for a major motion picture. But most dialogue on set is recorded at these specs. Most music and sound effects are too. It just makes sense to start and stay at 48/24 the entire way. Music is often recorded at 44.1 kHz or 96 kHz, with bit rates from 24 all the way up to 64. Audio CDs have a standard of 44.1 kHz 16-bit. Because it's not the dominant format anymore, most engineers are opting for 48 kHz or higher, since most music is delivered via streaming. Bit rates are usually as high as a workstation can record, though 24-bit is more than sufficient. If your music will be streamed, be aware that it will most likely be a quality-reduced MP3 file. And this presents a quandary, as consumer quality is far worse than studio quality. Like my recommendation for video, stay at as high a sample and bitrate all the way through to your mix and mastering. For delivery, treat each streaming or physical format separately, because not only can sample rates differ, but levels as well. The file format you choose can be important as well. Usually a WAV or AIFF works all the way through the chain from recording to mastering. However, in film and video, a special kind of file format called broadcast WAV is helpful. Among other things, it embeds timecode information into each file to help with synchronization to video. It's not absolutely necessary and doesn't have to be used through the whole process, but it's very helpful if there are any sync issues. It also can be used for music production, especially when collaborating between studios. Number four, what's your sound field? Is it stereo, 5.1 surround, Dolby Atmos, mono? Like sample rates, starting and staying in the final format will make your job easier in the end. For films, I would start and stay in at least 5.1 surround. Most workstations can create separate stereo down mixes on the fly that play well on headphone laptops, TVs, airplanes, etc. If you start out with a lesser sound field like stereo and then need to deliver a surround mix, It's much more difficult. Music isn't usually produced in surround, except for maybe concert videos. But I talk about those possibilities in a related video on this channel called Managing the Space in a Soundscape. And lastly, don't forget the mono mix. And I'll bet you were thinking, who listens in mono? We all do at some point, on a smartphone held at arm's length, on the radio, on the TV in another room, or on the gas pump's video screen. We usually experience stereo or surround when we're fully engaged with listening, like watching a movie or wearing headphones. But checking your mix in mono may reveal some balance issues you weren't aware of. Some of these may be music that's too loud or soft against dialogue, guitar solos getting swallowed into the keyboards, a dual-mic'd source disappearing because it's out of phase, or missing information heard only in one speaker. I'd like to make sure that a listener hearing my mix in mono at the very least hears all the important parts and doesn't strain to hear the background material. When checking your mix in mono, be sure to sum the left and right channels together instead of just listening to one channel at a time. Thanks for watching. Have a question or want to suggest a topic? Email me at info@dxaudio.com. I'm the owner of Dynamics Productions in Lexington, Kentucky. Visit my studio website at dxaudio.com. I wrote a book called Push the Right Buttons, a practical guide to becoming and succeeding as an audio engineer and producer. Get a copy or listen to the audiobook at dxaudio.com/book or at most online retailers like Amazon, Audible, Barnes & Noble, Spark Ngram, and Google Play.